I thought it was another classic Baylor A&M rivalry game. Was glad the nation got the chance to see just how good our games have been in the past, and really credit Coach Kennedy and A&M for. I know they have some injuries, and for them to come out and fight and play as well as they've done is a credit to their staff and their players. At the same time, really proud of our guys because when you have a lead like this and then you give it up and the crowd gets involved and things seem to go against you, to have the leadership to come back and get a road win. Very proud of how we executed down the stretch.
Scott, what is it about Pierre's makeup that he just seems to thrive in those late game situations?
I don't know, but if we could clone it or duplicate it, we'd inject it in a lot of people. I think the bigger the moment, the bigger the play, the better he performs. And again, some people, you either got it or you don't, and he definitely has it.
You were saying that you often work on these late game close situations in practice. Can you kind of talk about that and why you do that so much?
Well, I think every coach works on game-ending situations just because in the Big 12 Conference it's night in, night out. Every game's going down on the wire. It's going to be hard fought more times than not. And credit the guys for really executing, and that really comes with upperclassmen play because their calmness, their mentorship, leadership out there gets everyone in the right spot, and then hopefully good things happen like tonight.
Scott, he said you called that last three-pointer for him. He had just missed one. Any hesitation on going back to him? Or?
No. Because Pierre, if he's guarded, he creates for other people. So.
Again, I know you practice late game situations, but you guys have been, exceptionally proficient in close games this year, and that wasn't always the case in the past. Is it more than just luck? Is it the case of something about this team?
I think if you look over the last 4 or 5 years, I think the trend's been that we've been pretty good in late games. ESPN put that graphic up, so I know that. But I was going to say the reason is I think it all comes down to leadership, and as we're bringing in younger players, I think the upperclassmen tell them what's expected, and then help prepare them for late game situations. So if you look at that, I think our percentages are pretty good the last 4 or 5 years.
Well, also does it become a self-fulfilling prophecy, though? When you have success, you feel more comfortable in those situations?
No question.
What was going on when A&M came back, and then what did you do to turn the tide again?
Well, I think credit them because, first of all, they were defensively getting stops. And, we shot 31%, which offensively we've been very, very good all year long. Our 2 games against A&M have been 2 of our worst outputs offensively, and that's a direct reflection of Coach Kennedy and the great defense he instills and how he gets his guys to play on the defensive end. But to compound it, we weren't playing very good defense. We gave up 50% second half. So if you're struggling on one end, you got to be better on the other, and we were bad on both.
Did you feel like you were settling? I think that's the way Pierre put it, was that maybe settling for the outside.
Definitely, there were a lot of shots that we settled for. At the same time, I think A&M's defense is predicated on giving you those shots and contesting them versus giving you a lot of penetration. So they kind of bait you into that too.
Elston's had some big games lately, including even against you guys earlier. What was the difference tonight?
I think we just really tried to make every one of his shots difficult, and with a player like that, you can just do your best and hope that it's not going in. Tonight they weren't going in. So last game against Jacobin, second half they went in, first half they didn't. So we just tried to not let a player get started.
When A&M had the inbounds with about 10 seconds to go into play went to Elston Turner, were y'all going to try to use the last foul to give, or were y'all just going to play that possession straight up?
We'd have used it if the opportunity presented, so good question.
Were you a little shocked that the shot came that quick in the possession?
No, I think he was probably thinking we were going to foul and trying to get a 3-point attempt up, which more times than not, a lot of times works out. Coach says foul, players foul, and now you say not that time.
Coach Kennedy said this week he'd like to see this possibly stay as a neutral site so you guys can, and with an atmosphere like that, would you like to see this game continue?
Well, I think right now, the last thing on any coach's mind is scheduling. So I think right now we're just focusing on the grind of the Big 12, and we're trying to finish out strong. And then once season's over, we'll look at what options. Non-conference schedule is tough though because you only have so many opportunities. And I do know from the past few years, I mean, this has been a great game since 1914, 1915. It's a shame that they're going a different conference because we'd love to have them in the Big 12.
It's halfway. Do you look at the conference race right now, or is it too late?
No, I think you know everything that's going on in every game, but you can only control yours. So really focus in on our next one, and we're in a tough stretch, 3 and 4 in the road. So we got to move on to Oklahoma State now.
But from that standpoint, Scott, you're 7-2, you're tied with Missouri, you're one behind Kansas. As you look at the thing, is that something you maybe start talking to your team about? I mean, Perry said that you guys have never won the Big 12. That's something they clearly want to do.
Yeah, that's something we all want to do.